Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I've got a question for you. What is the value of this dunya? I mean, it's very important for you to know what the value of this dunya is so you can prioritize your tasks, do the good things that are going to help you in the akhirah. What is the answer? I mean, could the value of this dunya be something that's monetary? It's probably not that. I wonder what Wikipedia has to say about this. 33 trillion, 18 trillion, 16 to 54 trillion. I don't think that's it. Well, maybe the value of this dunya is sentimental. Maybe it's everything, maybe it's nothing, maybe it's something in between. But what is the answer? I found it. There's an authentic hadith by the Prophet ﷺ found in Sahih Muslim where he says, "By Allah, this world is so insignificant in comparison to the hereafter that if one of you should dip his finger in the ocean, then he should see as to what has stuck to it." Alright, so we've got our ocean. By the way, if you don't believe me, just take a listen. It's the ocean. Let's test it out. Bismillah. 3, 2, 1. I think that's it. Okay, now I'm sure you're thinking, what does all of this mean? Well, the first thing that I want you to understand is that this hadith is talking about the entire dunya. It's not talking about the dunya that we're existing in now. It's talking about the entire dunya. From the beginning of time right until Yawm al-Qiyamah. So imagine all the treasures, imagine all the riches, all the gold, all the silver, all the diamonds, all the money. And there's no one in history, in the entire history of humankind, who has actually owned the entire dunya. We might think of a couple of names in our generation: Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, these guys. These guys are extremely rich, but it's only in this time. No one has ever owned all of the treasures of the dunya. So the entire dunya in comparison to the akhirah is like when you dip your finger in water. And that little amount of water that's stuck to my finger, that's the dunya. That's the entire value of the dunya. So it's basically nothing. And look at how much water remained in the quote-unquote sea, that's water in the pot. Look at how much more remained. That is the value of the akhirah. This is Jannah, this is the treasures of Jannah, the Hur al-Ain, the palaces, the rivers, the gardens, the fruits, the meat, everything. So this dunya is nothing. And I want you to imagine if this is the entire dunya, that little amount of water that was stuck to my finger, that was the entire dunya. Imagine what our share of the dunya is. Wallahi, it might be 0.000000001%, maybe even less. Subhanallah. So it's very important for you to not fall in love with the dunya. Don't fall in love with its pleasures, with the money, with the fancy cars. The stuff is all gone. And like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, كل من عليها فان ويبقى وجه ربك ذو الجلال والإكرام. Everything is gone, everything is going to disappear, and real life only begins in the akhirah. This is why the more you chase pleasure in this dunya, the less pleasure you're going to have in the akhirah. Another really important thing for you to understand from this hadith is that this little amount of water that was on my finger, wallahi, it evaporated within maybe like 10-15 seconds. That's how short the dunya actually is. And subhanAllah, on the day of judgment, when we're all resurrected, we're going to think that our life was nothing. Just like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, إِلَّا عَشِيَّةً أَوْ ضُحَاهَا إِلَّا عَشِيَّةً أَوْ ضُحَاهَا. It's so short. Wallahi, this dunya, it's not worth obsessing over. It's not worth stressing over. Everything is gone and it's all going to disappear and it's going to feel like a flash. If it's 50 years, 10 years, 90 years, even as long as the Prophet Nuh alayhi salam, it does not matter. Now, what's the actionable step that we can leave from this video and from this beautiful hadith? It's one question. Is it worth it? Is it worth chasing temporary pleasure in this dunya and sacrifice eternal pleasure in the akhirah? Is murdering innocent people worth it? Is being addicted to pornography worth it? Is being addicted to smoking, to vaping, to drugs, is it worth it? Is being in a haram relationship worth it? This stuff is all temporary pleasure and it's all going to disappear. All of it's going to disappear. Imagine all the people that came before us, all of our ancestors. Imagine the stuff that they were involved in. Imagine the attachment some of them had to things in the dunya. And look at them now. They're dust. They're nothing. The stuff that they chased disappeared, it's gone. The money that they had disappeared, it's gone. And khalas, they've become dust. And we're going to be the same, inshallah. كُلُّ نَفْسٍ ذَائِقَةُ الْمَوْتِ. Every soul shall taste death. Now, before you leave, because this video is pretty much over now, I just want you to think about one aspect of your life which you can improve for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you're in a haram relationship, leave. If you're addicted to something, leave it. Whatever your challenge, whatever the difficulty may be that you're facing, leave it and use it as an opportunity to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And don't stress. Wallahi, don't stress. This dunya is very short. It's just a test. It's all delusions. It's all all made up, bro. It's not real. Wallahi, the real life begins later. And this life is completely worthless, except if you use it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the only time it actually has value. So the answer is actually everything and nothing at the same time. It just depends on how you utilize this dunya. And that's it for this video. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.